I will fight with honor.
We saw Ragnaros here from Renka's Paladin. I don't think we got to see that when he used his Paladin last time. We only got to see it in one game. He does not have a turn 1 play, but he's got a pretty good turn 2. Oh, he picks up the Secret Keeper just a little bit late. That would have been nice to have last turn. But Pride first, back on his Freeze Mage, so Rankin knows what he's up against. He knows this is a Freeze Mage. So he's just gonna fill the board with a really nice turn 3 play and muster. Looks like he's even gonna trade off the Mad Scientist. Ooh, Pride first draws into the second ice block, so we know that secret is Ice Barrier. It could have been blocked because the Mad Scientist died before the card draw. So that would have been a situation there where if Rankin decides to attack face, not saying it was wrong, but if he decides to attack face there, Pride first draws into the ice block here, and it would have been impossible for him to pull an ice block out of his hand with the Mad Scientist. Didn't matter anyway because he pulled the barrier regardless.
I'll never tell.
And now with all these 1/1s, Pride first going to get a lot of value out of this Acolyte of Pain. Pride first already he's up to 7 cards. So Renka could not quite overdraw him if he wanted to, because 2 more attacks into the Acolyte with those 1/1s would have put Pride first up to 9, plus the card draw for his turn would have been 10. So not an overdraw situation there, so he just decides to send it all to the face, start chipping away at that Ice Barrier armor. And a really full board here for Renka, but not very resilient to AoE, which could be coming out this turn if he really wants to. But at the same time, is it really that threatening for Pride first? You don't really want to overreact to your opponent's board too much either. Let's double check what the secret was in case we forgot. We saw it played from hand, so we should have known it was the Competitive Spirit. So if this board survives, though, that's going to be a lot of damage coming at Pride first. If Clear does not come here, he's going to start with the Frostbolt, see if it's Avenge. It is not Avenge or Redemption. So now he knows it's not Noble Sacrifice either. So it's one of the less common secrets. So he's playing around the Competitive Spirit a little bit by pinging off 1 more minion. He was pretty sure it was either Competitive Spirit or Repentance. It could have been Sacred Trials, but not too many people run that. Now Renka has the Piloted Shredder here on turn 5, not terrible. Sits that in the middle perfectly. Really nice Shredder placement. In case you're not familiar, you want to put Shredder in the middle between 2 minions, because when it dies, it could pop out a Flame Tongue Totem or a Direwolf Alpha, which buffs the attack of the minions on either side of it. So if you watch Hearthstone a lot, you probably get sick of hearing about that, but if you're kind of new to the scene, that's one of the more quote-unquote advanced moves, if you will. And now Pride for setting up the secret, so he's not going to use an AoE clear here. He could still coin a Frost Nova, but he can't back it up with the Doomsayer. So he's going to use the Blood Mage Stalnos for draw next turn. But meanwhile, this Blessing of Kings here means a lot of damage. So that's 10 plus 14 damage on board. Blessing of Kings would be 18 damage. So we can put Pride first down to 5.
Reporting for duty.
And the Paladin Shredder is resilient to a clear. So even if the Frost Nova Doomsayer does go out, it will buy a turn for Pride First, but it will still be left with a Shredder baby to deal with. And the Cog Hammer in hand means a potential pop for Renka coming up here in a couple turns. Renka has 4 damage from hand. Consecrate Cog Hammer is not quite enough. He's going to start chipping away. The Divine Shield will obviously not do anything. But he wanted to get that shift damage in so that next turn, a swing with the Cog Hammer and Consecrate will pop his opponent. Vitality Totem not terrible here. One of the ways that you can win against Freeze Mage is forcing them to use all their burns. So if you can keep a high health total while they're using their burn meanwhile, then you can fatigue him out that way. So Pride First, knowing that, has to use the first half of a Forgotten Torch to clear it off. And now, Pride First, seeing this Cog Hammer, he's going to go in with some damage and keep his opponent's face frozen. So now Renka will not be able to pop him with that play he had in mind. The Cog Hammer Consecrate. So he's going to have to flood the board again here. Mysterious Challenger going to pull out a couple. As we saw earlier, just the competitive Spirit Blade. So these are going to be, there's the Redemption, there's the Avenge, and there's the Noble Sacrifice. So pretty much what was to be expected, having already seen a competitive Spirit. And now Pride First is out of face freezes. In his hand, at least.
I bring life.
Renka already set to 15, so Pride First is just going to Alexstrasza himself back up to 15. Which does prevent his block from being popped this turn. He's got 10, 12 damage if he wants to send it all to the face. He can put up the taunt, but the Noble Sacrifice would get in the way of that Alexstrasza anyway, so the taunt is not necessarily to stop the Alexstrasza, but it is resilience to AoE clears. And it's just more pressure on the board. Pride First is going to have to dig into his deck and see what he can draw. He's just got to stall this out a little bit longer, which he can do with those blizzards. So he is definitely not out of it. Renka's already down to 15. Pride First has a Fireball in hand. If he can draw into some more damage, he can still come back in this thing. We'll see if it matters where the Avenge goes. It doesn't matter yet because the Blizzard's going to freeze it out anyway. Pride First still at 5, so Renka not able to pop him still. He's been hiding that Consecrate for quite a while, trying to use it as an Ice Block pop, but not yet. Ooh, the Avenge showing on there was could have been relevant because it means the Alexstrasza does die to just the Sludge Belcher, so that could have impacted the game. If that Alexstrasza is able to get a couple attacks and take out some value trades, that could definitely affect the game. Ooh, a Frost Nova coming up here means Pride First has some more stall. So he's going to go with the Frost Nova Doomsayer turn here. Kind of locks out Renka for this turn. Even if he draws one of the big boys like Tyrion, he'd probably still play it because of the Ashbringer that he would have gotten out of it would be enough to pop Pride First on the next turn. But Pride First with the Pyroblast, he's got the Pyroblast. Even if he gets popped this turn, he's got the Fireball Ice Block for next turn. He can definitely survive, so the Fireball gonna do it next turn. And that means that Pride First is going to take this game. We are gonna see a pop here from Renka. He's gonna pop him at 2. That isn't gonna be enough. I suppose you could pop him at 1 with the hero power. So he does do that. Popping Pride First at 1, not gonna be relevant. He doesn't know it yet. Probably has a little bit of an inclination. He knows he's just dead to a fireball. He's got to try it anyway, though, so he pops him. Pride First that one. Got the fireball. And Pride First, with that note, will take game 3 with his mage. And he will just be down to his druid to get a win, to take 3rd place in the Elephino Open number 12 tournament here. So we'll see if that's able to happen.